In the rolling hills of southeastern Turkey, about 15 kilometers from the ancient city of Urfa, there is a mound of earth and stone that has shattered everything archaeologists thought they knew about human civilization. The locals call it Potbelly Hill. Scientists call it Göbekli Tepe. And what lies buried beneath its surface is nothing short of a revolution in our understanding of who we are and where we came from. Imagine this, 12,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age, before the invention of the wheel, before metal tools, before pottery, before agriculture itself, a group of hunter-gatherers came together on a remote hilltop and built something that should have been impossible. They carved massive limestone pillars, some standing 18 feet tall and weighing up to 20 tons, dragged them from a quarry 100 meters away, and arranged them in precise circular enclosures. Then they covered every surface with intricate carvings of animals, foxes and snakes and scorpions and vultures, creating what many archaeologists now call the world's first temple. This wasn't a village. This wasn't a burial site. This was a monumental religious complex built 7,000 years before Stonehenge, before the Great Pyramid of Giza, before the first cities of Mesopotamia. Foxes stalk across their surfaces in low relief. Snakes slither down the edges in sinuous patterns. Wild boars bristle with aggression, their tusks curling menacingly. Scorpions, spiders, and centipedes crawl across the limestone. Lions bare their teeth. Vultures spread their wings, dominating entire faces of the pillars. What does this menagerie mean? Archaeologists believe the animals were not random decoration but encoded symbolic meaning, perhaps clan totems, perhaps spirit guardians, perhaps a mythological cosmology that we can only guess at. Notably, the animals are almost always depicted as male and in aggressive postures. There is violence in this art, a raw, primal energy. Equally striking is what's missing, humans. With a few rare exceptions, human figures are almost entirely absent from the carvings. Instead, the pillars themselves appear to be human. No discussion of Göbekli Tepe is complete without Pillar 43 in Enclosure D, the so-called vulture stone. This single carved pillar has generated more controversy and speculation than perhaps any other archaeological artifact of its age. Look closely at some of the T-shaped monoliths and you'll notice carved arms running down the sides, hands with long fingers meeting at the front, and even belts and loincloths wrapped around the stone. The T-shape itself is anthropomorphic, the shaft is the body, the horizontal top is the head. These are people, or gods in human form, standing watch over the enclosure. In 2017, researchers made a sensational claim. The vulture stone may depict a comet impact around 10,950 BCE, an event that plunged the planet back into Ice Age conditions for over 1,000 years. In 2017, archaeologists made another unsettling discovery at Göbekli Tepe, fragments of human skulls, deliberately carved and modified. Deep incisions had been cut into the bone, not as part of any practical defleshing process, but with obvious ritual intent. The floors of the enclosures are terrazzo, burned and polished limestone, creating a smooth, water-resistant surface that wouldn't look out of place in a Roman villa. They had no metal tools, no wheels, and no domesticated animals to help them. Everything was done with flint, with stone, with human muscle and human ingenuity. At that time, there is no evidence of domesticated plants or animals at the site. The people who built Göbekli Tepe were hunter-gatherers. They ate wild game and gathered wild cereals. Over 7,000 grinding stones have been discovered at the site, evidence of large-scale cereal processing on a scale that suggests they were feeding a substantial workforce. Göbekli Tepe is not alone. In recent years, archaeologists have identified at least a dozen similar Neolithic sites across the region, collectively known as the Taz Tepeler, the Stone Hills. Karahan Tepe revealed a carved stone pillar with a detailed human face, one of the earliest three-dimensional human portraits ever discovered, a narrative carved in stone at the boundary between the Ice Age and our modern world. The site was built on a slope, and over centuries, it was repeatedly struck by landslides. Enclosure D was inundated with rubble. Nature did what humans did not, it buried the world's first temple under tons of earth. Ground-penetrating radar shows at least 15 more circular enclosures still buried underground, each presumably filled with carved pillars and animal reliefs and whatever secrets their builders left behind. The hill still stands. The pillars still watch. And the story of who we are is still being rewritten, one stone at a time.